Alright everyone, welcome back to another Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes video with Fat Phil. I appreciate all of your patience as I just kind of adjust to normal life. I've done a lot of yard work over the past few days, got to recharge batteries, finally recovering from that trip. So thank you again for your patience. I'm sorry that content hasn't been regular. We're getting back into it. It just takes me some time. So appreciate you all. Please like and subscribe, comment down below. We're going to be talking about Luthen today. I think this is going to be one of the most important Conquest units for free to play in a very long time. We're going to talk all about that. So go ahead, guys. We're going to get to our intro and then we're going to talk about Luthen. All right, so before we get to the actual kit reveal on the forums, I want to just talk about why I think this is so important for free to play. If you go back to the last Conquest unit we had with Queen Amidala, her primary squad, right, the A team for her is Master Qui-Gon and Padawan Obi-Wan. They're the newest marquees. They're not farmable yet. So a lot of us, like I think there's like 13,000 Queen Amidalas. And I think if you doubled the amount of relic Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan and multiplied it by 2, you still don't have as many relics there as you do Queen Amidala yet. So it's not very common for most people to have all of them yet. So because of that, I think she was a Conquest unit that, similar to, say, Maul or Commander Tano, where they were released and we didn't really know how to use them yet. We didn't really know what their full purpose is. She's kind of the same way, where we're like, what do we do with you? Luthen, they've kind of come out of the gate and said, hey, you can run him with Mon Mothma and you can run him with Saw Gerrera. And the way you use him, with those two teams, he acts differently as Axis and Curator. Again, we'll show you that in the kit reveal here. But what I love about this as well is that there are so many options with Rebel fighters to pick and choose from. So again, as a free-to-play, what this gives you the ability to do is just say, hey, you know what? I've got Kyle, I've got these relics right here. I'm going to run a team with, Mon Mothma and Kyle and Wedge and Biggs and Luthen. And there we go. It's going to give you the ability to pick and choose where to use this character. And if you have a larger roster, you'll have more options. But I think he's the kind of character that we've been missing from Conquest, where right off the bat, there's so many uses for him that he's actually designed for. Think of Commander Tano. She's got that scoundrel tag, but not really designed to be used with scoundrels. She's really meant to be with Jedi Master Kenobi, where Luthen, it's, hey, Rebel fighter, Mon Mothma or Saw Gerrera. I think that's awesome. It's a really great place to start from, thumbs up from me so far. So let's go over to the screen capture here, and I'll move my fat face out of the way. So let's move the fat face up here. So we have Luthen Rail. I think it's Rail. I don't know. However you want to say that. Luthen Rail here. 2D artwork. Chef's kiss. We're going to talk about this character, right? Get into it. So he is a Rebel and Rebel fighter. Again, those tags kind of go synonymously, right? We need both of them there. And then he is a support unit, which is something to note. Support units, think about when you're in Conquest and win without any attackers in your squad, we're going to be able to use Luthen. Key attributes: summon a Rebel commander to fight for you. With Luthen on any team, any Rebel trooper summoned will instantly be promoted to Rebel commander. So think about Mon Mothma. She summons that guy. Boom, Luthen's going to promote them up. Kit changes depending if Saw Gerrera is in the lead or not. When not using Saw Gerrera, he works best with Mon Mothma Rebel fighters. He has great offense and defense depending on the comp and strategy you use them for. That is really good to hear. One of our favorite characters from Andor, we leaned into the dual identities he had in the show with the Axis and Curator effects and having him work differently with different Rebel fighter leaders. I love that because in the show, he was very different around Mon Mothma than he was with Saw Gerrera. And then finally, every ability name was taken from the impactful monologue he gives. I want to just take a second here. I'm going to show you this monologue. We're going to read it. I love the monologue that he gives. And, he's talking to that guy, right? And he's like, and what do you sacrifice? And Luthen just looks at him and goes, calm, kindness, kinship, love. I've given up all chance at inner peace. I've made my mind a sunless space. I share my dreams with ghosts. I wake up every day to an equation I wrote 15 years ago, from which there's only one conclusion. I'm damned for what I do. My anger, my ego, my unwillingness to yield, my eagerness to fight, they've set me on a path from which there is no escape. I yearn to be a savior against injustice without contemplating the cost, and by the time I looked down, there was no longer any ground beneath my feet. What is my sacrifice? I'm condemned to use the tools of my enemy to defeat them. I burn my decency for someone else's future. I burn my life to make a sunrise I know I'll never see. And the ego that started this fight will never have a mirror or an audience or the light of gratitude. So what do I sacrifice? Everything. You'll stay with me, Lonnie. I need all the heroes I can get. God, I love that. Man, that is one of the most, that is an absolutely amazing monologue. I wanted to do it in Stellan Skarsgård's voice. I cannot do that with the accent and the scratchiness. He's the perfect character for Luthen. What a casting job. But more than anything, I think one of my favorite lines in this is, I burn my life to make a sunrise I know I'll never see. Gosh, that's powerful. So all of his kit, all of his abilities will come from that monologue. I wanted to read it because I think it is amazing. Like, I get chills every single time. And whenever that comes up on a timeline, that's a must watch. Just like if you're scrolling through TikTok and you get this is Master Obi-Wan Kenobi. Like, you gotta sit there and listen to the whole thing. All right, back to the kit reveal. Kit is more offensive with Saw Gerrera, otherwise he's more supportive. With Saw Gerrera, the leader of Rebel troopers will gain a new expendable asset effect. In GAC, Luthen's Special 1, What Do I Sacrifice? Lets the targeted Rebel fighter Mon Mothma ignore taunt until the end of their next turn. So let that sink in. When they say, why would Mon Mothma want to ignore taunt? You select Mon Mothma and use that mass assist where everybody deals like the full amount of their damage, and you can ignore taunt with that. That's a very powerful move all of a sudden. You're deleting people that otherwise you wouldn't be able to delete. While Saw Gerrera as a leader, letting the Rebel trooper be defeated is beneficial since it resets the cooldowns of your attacker or Rebel fighter allies, whereas it's more beneficial to keep the trooper alive with Mon Mothma. He is the Conquest unit. What are the new names and effects? Axis with Saw Gerrera, Curator without. Expendable asset is only for the summon. So yes, Mon Mothma and Luthen will summon the same exact character. It's just the skin is different, right? The actual look of the character will be different. Additionally, Luthen will automatically promote the trooper to commander no matter who summons them. So if Mon Mothma summons it, Luthen will automatically promote it. And you cannot have two summons on the field. So you cannot have Mon Mothmas and Luthens at the same time. It's one or the other, but they will be a commander. So basic tools of my enemy, and there's an Omicron on this basic. Deal special damage to target enemy and inflict healing immunity for 2 turns. As Axis, right? So if he's Axis with Saw Gerrera, during Luthen's turn, inflict buff immunity for 2 turns on target enemy, which can't be dispelled. If the allied rebel commander is active, inflict fear for 1 turn on the target enemy. Curator, dispel all buffs on target enemy. During Luthen's turn, if the allied rebel commander is active, call them to assist. While in GAC, during Luthen's turn, he gains 25 speed, max 100, until the end of the encounter. And the target enemy has their defense reduced by 30% until the next time Luthen uses his basic or he is defeated. That is a very solid ability. What do I sacrifice? Special cooldown, Omicron. If the allied leader is rebel and not galactic legend, summon a rebel trooper and promote them to rebel commander. If the rebel commander is already present, dispel all debuffs on them and they gain a bonus turn. Target rebel fighter or Mon Mothma ally gains 30% offense stacking and is immune to turn meter reduction until the end of their next turn. Axis, right? So with Saw Gerrera, if the rebel commander is already present, they gain 50% offense stacking for 2 turns. Curator, if the rebel commander is present, they recover 50% health and protection. Target rebel ally gains Frenzy. Frenzy's pretty solid there. While in GAC, if the commander is already present, all allies gain critical damage up for 2 turns. And then notice this right here, Mon Mothma and other rebel fighter allies. Saw Gerrera has the rebel fighter tag. So bear that in mind that when they call out Mon Mothma, it's because she does not have the rebel fighter tag. So Mon Mothma and all other rebel fighter allies gain 30% offense stacking and are immune to turn meter reduction until the end of their next turn. Target rebel fighter ally ignores taunt until the end of their next turn. So that is, love to see that. Cool. Special 2, a Sunless Space. This just has a Zeta. Mon Mothma and all other Rebel Fighter allies, and all Rebel Fighters, so that includes himself, gain speed up and bonus protection 20% for 2 turns. Axis, all Rebel Fighter allies dispel all debuffs on themselves. For each debuff dispelled, they gain 10% turn meter. If the allied Rebel commander is active, inflict marked on them for 2 turns, which can't be copied or dispelled. Curator, rally Mon Mothma and all Rebel Fighter allies. I forget, somebody has to explain, I forget what rally is, but that's, you know, I need to read up on what rally is. I don't remember what rally is. Unique one, dreams with ghosts, Omicron. Mon Mothma and Rebel Fighter allies gain 20%, or gain 20, not 20%, just 20 speed. At the start of the encounter, if the allied leader is Rebel and not a Galactic Legend, summon a Rebel Trooper and promote them to Commander. While the Rebel Commander is active, Luthen is immune to ability block, cooldown increase, and taunt effects, and he can't be targeted or reduced below 100% health. So, what's really interesting there is that if you have Mon Mothma and Luthen in the same team, you can only target 3 characters. There's only 3 characters you can target, with a 4th being the, you know, worthless guy, as Zareth always says, right? That you can, you know, target there. And he can't be reduced below 100% health. Why that's important is that even AoE attacks won't, like, they'll eat away at his protection, but they won't be able to kill him while that guy's around. So that's a big deal. At the start of the battle, if there is a Rebel leader and there's no Rebel Galactic Legend allies, if Saw Gerrera's leader, Luthen gains access, otherwise he gains the Curator. Axis, whenever a Rebel Trooper is summoned, they gain expendable asset effect and are inflicted with mark, which can't be copied or dispelled. Whenever a Rebel Trooper is defeated, all attacker allies have their cooldowns reset. Curator, whenever a Rebel Trooper begins their turn, Luthen and Mon Mothma gain 20% turn meter. So that turn meter gain right there is insane. Think about the Mon Mothma team. There's already a lot of turn meter gain inside of that team. Giving them another way to gain turn meter is going to make that loop so much more insane. Expendable asset. Can't gain stealth and can always be targeted by enemies. Lose 70% max health and gain 70% offense. Whenever Rebel Trooper uses a basic ability, it inflicts defense down on the target for 2 turns, which can't be evaded or resisted. Whenever Rebel Trooper uses a special, they are inflicted with mark for 2 turns, which can't be copied or dispelled, and gain retribution, which can't be dispelled. While in GAC, if there are no Rebel Galactic Legend allies at the start of battle, Mon Mothma and Rebel Fighter allies gain 30% max health, mastery, and 20 speed, and they gain 50% bonus protection for 1 turn. The first time the Rebel Commander is defeated in each battle, summon a Rebel Trooper and promote them to Commander. So, a lot of stuff going on here. And then they just talk about the, the different stuff there, right? Like all the different summon things, which there's nothing new here, right? This is all like that's been in the game before. The big thing here that I want to point out is how many times this guy's going to come back, right? So Luthen is, he's going to summon it at the start of battle, this Rebel Trooper. So he's going to summon it at the start of battle. Then if it dies, it's coming back again immediately, right? That's part of the kit here is it says it's defeated, summon a Rebel Trooper and promote them to Rebel Commander. So it's coming back in and getting back up to Commander status, right? But then up here, I believe it says, where is it? It's his unique ability, right? Where's the unique at? There it is. Summon a Rebel Trooper, right? Yeah. Whenever a Rebel Trooper is defeated, where is it? Hold on. That it basically, when it said that he will automatically promote, sell a Rebel Trooper if there's already present, dispel debuffs. Hold on, where is this thing? I know it said it up here, I think, right? Yeah, no matter who did this, right? So what so like if Mon Mothma, I guess what I was trying to say, I lost my train of thought there for a second, but if, so Luthen is going to summon one, it's going to die, it's going to come back again. Let's say you kill that one. Luthen can then either summon one himself, or Mon Mothma can summon it, and then Luthen can make it a commander right away, right? So, like, I think that is just such an amazing ability, right? It is so good. Like, I think it is an amazing ability. I feel like this character is really going to be great for the free to play, like I said, because you look like they're showing you with Pow here, right? Like, I think that's kind of a sign that Pow's probably going to be pretty good with this dude. But I think overall, this is one of those characters that I feel as a free to play you're going to want to have, because with Saw Gerrera, I have a feeling with Saw Gerrera, I feel like he'll be better with Saw Gerrera, because Saw Gerrera already has a GAC Omicron, kind of a lackluster team, so you think you go with Saw Gerrera. Sharut and Baze have kind of really been with Saw Gerrera because of heal over times. You put Luthen in there, you add another tank, and then you could put, Kyle or Pow or something in there, just some different, rebel, and I think you've got a very good team there, with Luthen kind of ensuring that you're, how do I say this, with Luthen kind of being this really good character. I'll be very, I think I'll be very curious to see how he works with one versus the other offensively and defensively. Like, I think defensively, the Mon Mothma team, is for defense, and I think offensively, Saw Gerrera. I don't know that you're going to want to place this team with Saw Gerrera on defense, just from the vibe that I get from reading the kit, because the basic here, right, when it talks about how when he's Axis, you inflict buff immunity, which can't be dispelled. So you're going to want to place that on someone who would either be a taunt and then have somebody kind of dispel that, right? Baze Malbus kind of come through and dispel. So there's going to be certain turn order things that you're going to want to bear in mind with this character to get the best out of his kit. So that's why I think if you're going to use Saw Gerrera, this is an offensive team. And I think with Mon Mothma, it's defensive, simply because, like, he's going to have this, I feel like the curator stuff, right, is just a little bit less, what's the word here? I feel like the curator things are a little bit, they require a lot less manual, like, thinking. It requires less thinking, particularly on the basic. And so, yeah, I'm very curious to kind of see how this plays out. And what I do want to say here, this healing immunity, that could be really good, because that's going to happen on his turn. So when he's called to assist, he could still inflict that healing immunity. So I think potency could be a good thing for him, because think about going up against somebody like Iden Versio, and they're a great counter to rebel fighters. But if you could inflict some healing immunity on there, there's potential that you use Mon Mothma and delete some, kind of work around some of those Imperial troopers. And I'll be curious, because that's a very tough counter, but just thinking out loud of how he could benefit this team, something like that could surprise lower level Mon Mothma teams or Iden teams. Obviously, I think at a relic level, I don't know that it will matter as much, but that's a big deal. So I'm very excited for this character. All that said, again, he will be Conquest. So what I would expect out of this Conquest, right, just going based off of feats, I mean, you can expect Gungan feats. I think Gungan feats are going to be, they're going to have to be here. If I flip back over to the game here and move my fat face down. So I would say that you could probably expect feats to require some rebels, right? I would say that's a pretty safe bet, but I would say big time you could expect Gungans going on, probably some separatist stuff, Padawan, Obi-Wan, Master Qui-Gon, you know the drill. Like, they've really stopped with a lot of the thematic things and have kind of just stuck with, you got to have the brand new stuff in order to finish Conquest. So, I believe Conquest will be starting, I don't know if it's in, is it a week? I feel like it's a week or 2 weeks. I'm not sure on the break in between them. But whenever Conquest does start, I'll keep you guys informed. We'll make sure we get those feats out to you. So let me know your thoughts. Are you excited for this character? Or are you kind of like, Phil, you're a moron. Kino Loy was a way better character in Andor than Luthen. I don't know if I would agree with that. Kino Loy was awesome, and seeing Andy Serkis live was great. But yeah, let me know your thoughts. Again, love you all. May the Force be with you. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers, my friends.